So now with YouTube's current guidelines, they need content to be appropriate to be watched by a 5-year-old. How about a PG movie literally named Baby? Baby, Secret of the Lost Legend is a 1985 family adventure film from director Bill Norton. The movie opens with some text talking about the mysterious reptile known as the Mekele Mbemba. Wait a minute, didn't that guy play for the Denver Nuggets? Oh, wrong guy, my mistake. We then cut to a parade already in progress. Is it a good idea to be dancing with firearms? I don't know what this kid did, but his punishment seems a little severe. You drank all the Fanta! Don't touch my anime collection! A guy with a package is robbed and murdered. Oh, yes! Yes! Finally, those sexy dinosaur pictures. Meanwhile, in West Africa, George is teaching some locals how to play baseball. They don't seem to be doing well. George is a reporter, and wow, this must be a slow news year. Anyway, George is a sports reporter and gets a call to come back home because he's received a promotion. How come this catchphrase never took off?
Get the cheeseburgers ready, Jerry, because I'm going to be home by Christmas.
Susan, George's wife, is there as part of an archaeological research team. She found what she thinks is a dinosaur bone, but it turns out it's from a giraffe. Uh-oh, Sean Young is upset. Somebody stop her before she loses it and puts on the Catwoman costume. Hey, that's the guy that murdered the other guy. Dr. Kiviat is talking to his assistant Nigel. Turns out Susan's fossil was real. Nigel tells him about the guy he killed.
You don't know that Etienne is dead.
Oh yes, terrible thing. Fine scientist.
Oh yeah, real nice guy. Shame and all that. Sure is a good thing I had nothing to do with killing him. That night, George is talking to Susan.
It's just, I have the funniest feeling about this bone.
The doctor and Nigel are going to another village to search for evidence of the dinosaur. Susan goes to meet with a guy from the Red Cross. He's investigating a case of food poisoning at a local village. He brought a bone of what they ate, and as luck, plot convenience would have it, it's the exact same bone that Susan found. Also, these are totally real bones and not just hollow painted resin. Nope. Susan wants to investigate the village, but that's going to interfere with George starting his new job. Jeez, he's so baseball he sleeps with his hat on. George wakes up to find Susan left to go to the village without him. He charters a plane to go after her. While on the trip, he gets some quality marital advice.
I can't let her get away with it! What would you do?
If it were my wife, I'd whip the bitch.
In the village, Carl, will you stop teabagging the corpses? George finds Susan, who tells him the chief of the village is dying. He then draws what he ate, which looks a lot like Krang. They fly upriver to see where they found the body. The doctor finds out Susan's at the village and gets a boat to follow her. The two get left in the middle of Africa with some supplies to look for the existence of a species that is supposed to be extinct, and this is a horrible idea. They're wading through the jungle and oh no, it's Cannibal Holocaust. They manage to not get killed by taking Polaroids of the tribe. I'd just like to point out that this is a lot of nudity for a Disney family film. George and the chief bond over a game of "Your food is disgusting!" That night at a bonfire, the tribe drugs the couple. Then suddenly...
Where'd everybody go?
They've gone to Betson's Furniture, where you can choose a sofa and love seat or sofa and recliner for just $4.99.
They set up a tent for the night. George is putting the moves on Susan, when from out of nowhere, a dinosaur eats their tent. These drugs are great. The next day they follow the tracks, and what they find is magnificent.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
The dinosaurs see them and chase them off. The couple decide to make a peace offering to the dinosaurs by feeding them. Susan befriends the baby dinosaur, and George puts a location tracker on it, although the dinosaur doesn't immediately warm up to them.
Not the mama!
Meanwhile, Dr. Evil found the mother. They set their tranquilizer level to Amy Winehouse and drop the beast. This upsets the male, who stampedes the group. The soldiers shoot and kill it. Wow, this would be really traumatizing to a kid. I mean, more happy fun time with the baby dinosaur! George confronts the doctor. Is this the smartest thing to do? Go yell at the guy surrounded by armed soldiers. Judo chop! They go to kill him, but are rescued by the natives. Later that day, Baby returns to the corpse of the father. Is it crying? Don't you manipulate me, movie.
Hey, you don't mind if I grab a few bites, right?
Baby's investigating some supplies and gets his head stuck. Oh God! Oh, it smells! Oh, help me, monkey! They lure Baby in and trap her. Nobody puts Baby in the corner. That night, Susan lets Baby sleep in the tent with them. It's gonna smell like a giant foot. The two are trying to get Baby back to the airdrop, and George is taking a beating. They're stuck in the middle of the jungle, covered in mud and bee stings, surrounded by soldiers who want to kill them and possibly the last living dinosaur. What better time than now to have some sex? Might I remind you, these are supposed to be the heroes. Even the dinosaur wants them to keep their clothes on. I shouldn't be seeing this. So they risk life and limb to capture the last remaining baby dinosaur, and they just shush it off? What does it take to get these people out of the mood?
George, baby, where's baby?
Now all of a sudden they can't believe that baby left. They spend all night looking for her until the next day when they remember they have a tracking device. They find the camp where the doctor has the mother. They try to rescue her and get caught. The doctor wants the dinosaurs for himself, so he kills the captain and frames the couple. They find baby and try to tranquilize it, but George and Susan fight back. The pilot gets shot and the couple escapes. Oh look, they landed right where baby is. They take baby and hide in a cave. Just then, bats!
I am denied.
The doctor and what's left of his team chase after them.
Marshall, Will, and Holly on a routine expedition met the greatest earthquake ever known. High on the rapids, it struck their tiny raft and plunged them down 1,000 feet below to the land of the lost, to the land of the lost, to the land of the lost.
They manage to escape, but now they're lost. Hey, it's Derpy Bird! Baby smells her mother and runs right into a trap. The couple are depressed, but the chief finds them and takes them to their guide, Kenji. They set up a diversion so they can rescue the dinosaurs. Kenji goes on a bombing run, and you know, this is getting kinda silly. The mama gets loose, and Nigel gets his comeuppance. The doctor's trying to get away with baby, but mama don't play that. This live-action dino crisis is really weird. He crashes the car and thinks baby's dead, which puts mama into super beast mode. Baby's alive! So now the two dinosaurs walk off. George and Susan decide to destroy their film and say the whole thing was just a legend. That's great and all, but how do you explain to the authorities the dozens of dead people, as well as a respected paleontologist with giant dinosaur teeth wounds? The film was mostly shot in locations in and around the Ivory Coast in West Africa, as well as Walt Disney Studios in California. The movie was inspired by Dr. Roy Meckel. He was a cryptozoologist who made many trips to Africa in search of living dinosaurs. In 1980, he filmed a trip to the Congo, which was used on an episode of Arthur C. Clarke's Mysterious World entitled Dragons, Dinosaurs, and Giant Snakes. The dinosaurs in the movie were a combination of stop-motion, animatronics, and men in latex suits. There also was some rear projection dinosaurs going on, which probably looked better in 1985. When the movie was originally marketed, it was simply called Baby. Then shortly before it hit theaters, it was retitled Baby, Secret of the Lost Legend. The added subtitle was mostly to draw on all the people who assumed this was a movie about a baby. Keep in mind, this was 1985 Disney, which was a much different company than the one we know of today, especially in the movie department. William Catt played George. He filmed this towards the end of his long-running series, The Greatest American Hero. While Baby was a flop, he did star in the cult film House that same year, and had a very successful run as Paul Drake Jr. in the made-for-TV Perry Mason movie series. Sean Young played Susan. This was still early in her career, just 3 years after Blade Runner and a year after Dune. She continued to make movies, and while she has over 100 credits to her name, a lot of people only know her as Einhorn from Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. Patrick McGoohan played Kvyat. McGoohan was the #1 British TV star in the 50s and 60s. One of his most enduring roles was number 6 in the series The Prisoner. He continued to work in both TV and movies up until 1998 when he retired. He did return for 2 jobs as a voice actor. One was in the 2002 Disney film Treasure Planet, and the other was as number 6 in the Simpsons spoof of The Prisoner, The Computer Wore Menace Shoes. The movie was directed by Bill Norton, who's sometimes listed as B.W.L. Norton. He directed the sequel to American Graffiti, More American Graffiti, in 1979. After Baby, he did mostly TV work, directing Tour of Duty, Angel, and 2 of the Hercules made-for-TV movies, which led to it being picked up as the incredibly successful series Hercules: The Legendary Journeys. Baby is a weird movie. It exists in that odd time when PG family movies were trying to mix content to please both kids and adults. There was the cute, silly dinosaur for kids, and mature content for the adults. Sometimes the dinosaurs look good, and other times not so much. Still, it's pretty impressive what they were able to do back then. It may not hold up well now, but it still looks better than some bad dinosaur CG. This was also 8 years before Jurassic Park, and on a fraction of the budget. This is indeed an odd film. I remember seeing it when I was younger, and was slightly traumatized by it. Seeing it now that I'm older, it's just a goofy dinosaur adventure where a doctor goes on a killing spree, and a couple discover that being lost in the jungle, surrounded by dinosaurs, is a major turn-on.
If it were my wife, I'd whip the bitch.